Otaigbe-Amedu. Welcome, ma.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening, ma.
everyone, to all our listeners. First of all, I want to say thank you for inviting me to this wonderful conference. I've been listening since the morning session and this evening session. It's been great, very inspiring. And I want to thank all the organizers for such a wonderful conference. And I'm hoping that maybe in future we'll actually have a physical one where people can join, and be able to connect physically. So thank you so much. So today I've been asked to talk about silenced by stigma, breaking trauma, shame. First of all, if you see me, you'll see my eyes are watery. My house is so hot. I don't like hot. Uh, Other people in the house, they've been putting on the heating, so it's really affecting me. That's why my eyes are like that. I feel like running outside. So silence by stigma, breaking trauma, shame. Who is silenced by stigma? And how do you break trauma, shame? The theme for the conference is unmask to be rooted. For you to be able to be rooted, you have to unmask. You have to make sure that you're no longer silenced by stigma. You have to be able to break that trauma, shame. We all know what mask is. It's a covering. You don't want people to know the truth. You don't want people to know what's happening in your life, whether you're a child, a student, whether you're an adult. You have a lot of challenges or challenges that are being stigmatized and you're hiding, you're masking it. But for you to be rooted, unmask also means to reveal, to expose the true character of a hidden truth. For you to be able to reveal means to unmask. To be rooted means to establish, to gain access. For example, we are in this country and we want to be able to establish, we want to be able to gain access. What are the things that we need to unmask? What are the things that we need to reveal to be able to exploit? What are the things we are no longer ashamed to talk about for us to be able to, prosper, for us to be able to spread our wings, to be able to fly? A lot of us have been silenced by stigma. A lot of us have gone through so many adversity, or maybe just one. Maybe childhood trauma, you've been raped, you've been molested by a family member, you're not able to talk about it. And you've been able, you have gone through maybe domestic abuse as a man or as a woman, or even as a child, you've been abused by parents or carers or teachers. Immigration is another thing that can make us, be silenced. A lot of us in this country, maybe you have immigration issues, you don't want people to know because you're ashamed. You don't want to be talked about. You don't want to go somewhere and they're like, oh, that lady, she doesn't have papers. Home office is running after her, or home office is running after him. So you kind of mask up. We've seen a lot of people like that. For years, you won't even know that they're going through immigration issues until it's getting to, the point where they want to take them away. Why? Because they are being silenced by the stigma attached to immigration issues. Or people who have financial hardship, maybe loss of job, loss of partner, and you're struggling. You don't want people to know, so you mask up, especially for women. We have our foundation, we have our makeup, So even when you go out, you go to parties, you go to church, nobody can really tell. So you mask up. But as someone who wants to progress in life, how do you change from masking that challenge, masking those problems, to be able to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be silenced by the stigma attached to my problem. For you to take that decision, it means that you want to start to change your lifestyle. A lot of people's dreams have been suppressed. I don't want to say die, because no dream is actually dead until the person goes to the grave. A lot of people's dreams have been suppressed because they don't want to unmask. And for you to be able to progress in life, whether you're a child, you're a student, you're an adult, a parent, a carer, a professional, you have to be able to unmask for you to be rooted, for you to be established, for you to gain access. You have to be able to step out of that comfort zone. You have to be able to say, you know what, I don't care if I'm going to be stigmatized, if I'm going to be laughed at, if somebody wrote gossip, if they're going to gossip about me, as long as I am rooted, as long as I am established, as long as I can gain access. So we are in this country where there's so many issues. I think this morning somebody was talking about marriage, that immigration does not break marriage, is the way people handle it. So for example, maybe there's a relationship breakdown, and that is one of the biggest stigma in our community. A lot of people will hide for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, as long as they can hide, and keep pretending that they are married, even when that relationship has broken down. And when you're in that situation, you can't really go far. Why? Because you are not telling yourself the truth, and people do not know the truth. For you to be able to fulfill your purpose in life, regardless of what life has thrown at you, you have to be bold enough. You have to be confident enough to say, you know what? I am no longer going to be silenced by this stigma. So, for me personally, as an inspirational speaker, I like to use my story. The reason I use my story, because one is become a success story for others to learn, for others to know that, you know what, whatever you go through in life, people will laugh. There are people who are born gossip, so they will always gossip. There are people who will continue to mock you because that's who they want to be. But as a human being, if you want to progress, if you want to move forward, then you have to be bold enough to shake off whatever stigma that has been attached to you. For me personally, I would say I'm really grateful to God for where He has taken me to and where He's still taking me to. And all these success stories of my life will not be available for anyone to listen to if I was still unmasking. If I was still masking my shame, masking my challenge, the stigma attached to what I went through. For you to move forward, you have to ignore whatever shame that comes with that challenge. So in my own life, I have always been somebody who loved marriage. You know, as a Christian, born again, you get married, nobody prays for marriage breakdown. Nobody prays that, okay, one day I'm going to get divorced. Nobody. So I got married and I was a church counselor in Nigeria, came to the UK. I read law and I thought, you know what, I'm going to help women because there's so much domestic abuse around me. Then we didn't even know it was domestic abuse. We just knew that, uncle will beat auntie, daddy beats mommy. So it was almost like every day you see a man beating a woman. So it was almost like the norm. We didn't know it was domestic abuse. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to read law. I'm going to help my women, which I read. And just before I could start, exercising, I was doing that in church, my comfort zone. We relocated to the UK 2005. By next week, Wednesday, it will be 20 years. And unfortunately, just because of time, there was a relationship breakdown. 8 years of marriage broke down. And if there was anything I did not like as a Christian, because when we were brought up, when you see a woman with no husband, but have children, or have children with different fathers, we were told that those people will go to hell automatically. That was the mindset I had growing up. So I did everything to protect marriage. Even if I'm dying, I wanted the marriage because I didn't want to go to hell. I didn't want to be called useless. I didn't want to be called a woman who couldn't keep her home. Unfortunately, the marriage broke down. And that was the start of me masking initially. So there are people who already know your problems who will come and ask you, how is your husband? Or how is your wife? Or if it's immigration, oh, do you have your paper now? They know you don't, but they will ask. And because you are masking, you are ashamed, you are silenced, you keep saying fine. And one problem about saying fine when it's not fine is that by the time everyone is gone, you will go and feel pain. So every time they ask, how is your husband? I will say fine. And when I get home, I will start to cry because there was no husband anyway. So I kept on masking because of the shame, because of the stigma. And one day, I think it was a house fellowship or something. My house was used as a house fellowship. And people can be nosy. And she looked around and then said, oh, your pictures, you and your beautiful children, where is your husband? And before I would have said he's fine or he traveled or he doesn't like pictures. And immediately, I don't know what came over me. God unmasked that shame. And I said, he ran away and went with another woman. She was shocked. Yes, masking brings pain. And she said, wow. And you said it like that. I said, yes, you asked me where is my husband. I said, he has gone with another woman. Is there any other thing you want to ask? I felt relieved. I felt this boldness came. I was like, wow, finally, I'm able to say my truth. When they left, I was so happy. I was at peace. Yes, I was very ashamed initially because if there was one thing I did not like is to be tagged a single mom. What did I do to unmask so that I can be rooted, so I can fulfill my purpose on earth, so that I can gain access in the United Kingdom? I had to tell myself the truth. When you're a single mom or you have immigration issues, you can be silenced by stigma. And there is nothing worse than being a single mom. Being, your relationship breaks. Nobody talks about the man. It's the woman. Oh, she's not a Proverb 31 woman. Oh, she couldn't keep her home. Oh, she was too loud. Oh, she has no respect. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, they brought her to the UK now. She wants to be like the boy. Everything, every stigma is attached. Yes, the burden will be lifted. My burden was lifted immediately, and I faced it. How did I break that trauma shame? I told you the fellowship was the first time I broke that trauma shame. Like, you know what? Don't ask me about him. Even seeing the pictures without a man, you don't need to ask. Right? So I told her immediately, and I saw freedom. I saw peace. I found peace within. So the next Sunday I went to church and they were asking, how are you? How is the dad? I said, I don't know, because he's gone. I'm a single mom now. I started feeling peace every day of my life. People gossiped. Yes, people gossiped. People told me to my face, oh, Ehinor, I think you were not a good woman because he's looking better now. That's why we hide. That's why we mask, because we are afraid of what people will say. People said a lot of things. Oh, it's because you're too quiet. Oh, it's because you're too fat. Oh, it's because you don't talk. Oh, it's because you cry a lot. Oh, it's because you plead the blood of Jesus all the time. What did I do? I took steps. And I want you, if you're listening this evening, or you will listen later, yours might not be my kind of story. It might be immigration. It might be work. It might be your children. Maybe your children are not doing well. And you're so ashamed to tell your friends because they will laugh. They will compare you and compare their children with yours. So you're keeping quiet. Maybe your children are misbehaving and you don't want anybody to know because of the gossip that will come out of it. I want to encourage you today to unmask. Unmask so you can be rooted, so you can get help, so that you can get solution, so that those closed doors will be opened to you. Until I unmask, I was never rooted in the UK. Until I unmask, I never gained access to the places I sit on now. So what did I do? Number one, I accepted who I was. Ehinor, you are now a single mother of two. Because before we'll hide ring and still be wearing ring. I had to accept you are a single mother of two children. Face it. People are going to laugh. People are going to mock you. People are going to say, my story was being preached on the altar. I didn't care anymore. Until you're able to say, you know what? I don't really care what people say. The reason people don't get help on time, especially when it comes to immigration issues, is because they don't speak out on time. Look at the COS issue. Some people will have problem. They will keep quiet until maybe weeks to their deadline. And they start to struggle. They start to run. At the end of the day, most times, the thing we mask, the things that we don't want people to know because of shame, because of stigma, because of stereotype, when it hooks you like this, you know you start to talk about it. You start to talk about it. So in my own case, the relationship breakdown came with so many baggages. One, immigration. I was a dependent. So immediately he walked away. The Home Office told me, you and your children go. Even the one that was born in the UK, you have to go. So I started to seek help. I started to speak out. Accepting who you are. A lot of people are living in denial, masking, and they are dying. A lot of people are being abused. Men are being abused. Women are being abused. Children are being abused They go to school and the teacher is asking, how are you? They say, I'm fine, but they're not fine. A lot of children are going through trauma, but they're ashamed. If I tell my teacher I've been molested, what would they say? If I tell them I've been raped, what would they say? If I tell them I've been bullied, are they going to laugh at me? Will they say I'm weak? You're a woman, just because you're a woman of God or a pastor or whatever position you hold. Or maybe you're even a motivational speaker. And now you're going through your challenge. You can no longer tell people, you know what, the thing I'm preaching about is happening to me. So you mask. A lot of people have died because they mask. But today I'm encouraging you to unmask. Unmask. Even Jesus that came to save us, at some point he was being laughed at. He was being mocked. If you say you are the Son of God, do this. If you say you are the Son of God, do that. What about Joseph? I know he's not a Christian descent. What about Joseph, who had a dream? Oh, let's sell him and see how he's going to be that kind of person. Everyone that is destined for greatness will have to unmask for you to be rooted. You will have to, come out of that comfort zone. You will have to be able to break that trauma shame. Some people will say you can't shame the shameless, right? So before they even laugh at you, you have already told them. You have already laughed at yourself. How many times? Thank you, you cannot shame the shameless, so I'm right, yeah. How many times will they even laugh at you? What's the worst that can happen? For example, immigration. What's the worst that can happen if people get to know you have immigration issues? What's the worst? They're going to just talk and that's it. As long as you get help, it doesn't matter whether they're gossiping you. It doesn't matter whether they've placed stigma on your head. It doesn't matter. You have to break away from that trauma shame to be able to gain access, to be able to be rooted, to be able to progress in your life. Just imagine I have been masking all these years. I didn't tell anybody. I know women that their spouse have left them 12 years, 15, 8 years. They're still masking. How are you going to fulfill your purpose on earth? Maybe that reason he left or she left is your breakthrough, is the road to your breakthrough, is the road God wants you to pass to announce you. You don't know. There are women in ministry. Exactly. Greatness does not come in a platter of gold. There are women in ministry that I know that have been single mothers. Their congregation don't know that they've been single mothers. Their congregation don't know that they've been divorced. Their congregation, so when the women come and they're telling you their problem, you can't even now use yourself to encourage them because you're ashamed. And maybe, just maybe, that is where your ministry is. That is where your breakthrough is. That is where you will start fulfilling the purpose of God in your life. If anyone had told me that, Ehinor, your marriage needed to be destroyed to get to your promised land, I would never have believed. If anyone had told me that, I'm going to shake you with this challenge so you can open your mouth to talk because there is a purpose for your life, I would never have believed. And I never used to talk before. I was too quiet. In fact, people who knew I read law, one thing they would ask is, how would you talk in court? I was so quiet that I can talk inside of me, but I can't talk out. But you know what? Because there is a purpose for my life, because I needed to gain access in this country, my voice needed to be heard, and God knew that He needed to shake me to be able to save other women. He had to break that. So maybe yours is immigration. And you're saying, God, why? Unmask. Go to immigration centers. Seek for help. Go to organizations. Seek for help. I remember years ago, I had just arrived in London. Then I was getting this call. Oh, Ehinor, where are you? We need your urgent presence in this police station. Da, 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 da. I said, no, I'm not in Manchester. What happened? There's a lady that they've just held now. She has immigration issues. Da, 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 da. They finally deported her. But you know the painful part? That is a woman I talk to every day. I never knew. Beautiful woman. Nobody would have assumed that she had immigration issues. For years, I knew her. Until the moment they caught her, the thing she was hiding became public. But it was too late. It was too late. What is it that you're going through? What is it that you have already gone through? And you feel so ashamed. You feel that, I can't say this. The stigma, if I say it, I know what people will say. If I say it, they will take position away from church. They will not respect me. People have known all this while that I have money, but I really don't have. I don't want them to laugh at me. I have this childhood trauma. I cannot say it. I want to encourage you. Unmask. Break that trauma shame so that you can begin to fly. Break that trauma shame so that you can begin to explore. You can begin to fulfill your purpose on earth. And if you're a parent, whatever you are masking, maybe you're going through abuse and you think your children don't know. Children are like spirits. They know. And whatever it is that you are going through affects your children. It affects your children. So for you to be able to, come out from being silenced by stigma to breaking that trauma shame is acceptance, number one. You must accept that this is the problem. You must accept your situation. Number two, seek help. Professional help. If it's a medical stuff, go to your GP. Go to health professionals. If it's immigration, look for immigration support groups, immigration advice group. If financial hardship, find organizations. If it's domestic violence, seek help. If it's relationship, whatever it is, seek help. Number one, accept. Number two, seek help. Number three, be ready for a shift. I always say one thing. The people you move with will either make you or break you. Choose wisely. Who are you moving with? Why are you masking? Is it the people because of the people around you? Is it because of the people around you because they will gossip? Walk away. For you to be able to break trauma shame and start living your purpose, you will have to let go of some people, including some family members. You need people who are positive minded. Not people who will mock you, not people who will laugh at you, people who can tell you, you know what, you'll be fine. There is nothing that you're going through now that somebody has not gone through before. The reason I'm passionate about cancer awareness now is because a lot of people are masking it. They don't want people to know, because if they know that they have cancer, they will say, oh, they have not prayed enough. They don't have faith. They are people of little faith. And because of that, they mask until when it's getting to a point, they are telling them, oh, you have how many weeks or months to live. Then they unmask. So at some point, you're going to unmask anyway. So unmask early. Get help. Start living your life. Start living your life. 2022, I think, yes, 2022 is exactly 3 years I set up the first UK befriended service for single mothers. When they realized that that service does not even exist in the whole of UK. And Her Majesty the Queen, may her soul rest in peace, encouraged me to say, that's something new. And today we are helping single mothers to achieve. I had, in fact, three of them out of the 4 that set up organizations and just got their funding this week. In fact, I've been so happy today. Like, Ehinor, this is your success story. That they've moved from masking to unmasking. And they are breaking that trauma shame to say, you know what? If my relationship failed, I am not a failure. It's the relationship that has failed. So when I got one call on Tuesday, I got one on Monday, then I got another call today. I was like, why is she calling me on a Saturday? Out of curiosity, I picked. I showed her, Mama, I just got my funding. I said, wow. Now you can do whatever you want to do. They are progressing now because they have been able to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be silenced by stigma, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not a good wife, that I'm not a Proverb 31 woman. People can say whatever they want to say. What does God say about you? What does God say about you? The challenge I had years ago, that I was so stigmatized in Manchester to a point where I almost committed suicide because of church. To a point I was hiding. And by the time I unmasked and I started telling people, yes, this is reality, they started saying my story was like an opened Bible where everybody knows the story in the chapter. Do you know what that means? Like everywhere I'm going, I could feel that people were talking about me. I could feel it. I'm like, God, what is this? Maybe I should have kept quiet. Maybe I should have allowed that mask to remain. Maybe I shouldn't have unmasked it. But you know the good news. I am grateful that I was bold enough to unmask. If I did not unmask, I will not be fulfilling my destiny now. I will not. Every time it's November, I am emotional because I remember how I came to the UK. I remember when the problem started in 2007. I remember, and where I am today is as a result of unmasking, of breaking the trauma shame to say, no, I'm no longer going to be ashamed. What am I ashamed of? Somebody committed adultery. Why is the shame on me? Why am I the one ashamed? And today, that same story I was hiding. That same story I was masking. That same story I didn't want people to know because of the stigma is what has taken me to where I am today. Every of my success story is tied to what I was masking. What are you masking? What are you hiding? It's time to unmask. Move away from negative people. If you don't know how to unmask, talk to Sonia. Let her bring you to us, wonderfully made woman. There is no shame. There is nothing that is happening to you. There is nothing that has happened to you that has not happened to anyone before. You don't want to die with all the gifts God has put in you because of shame, because of stigma. You want to be able to spread your wings and fly. Yes, I was a single mom. Today, single mothers are excelling. They are walking boldly. They are no longer ashamed. Why should they be me being ashamed when it's the man who walked away? Is that man that should be ashamed? Even if you were the one that walked away, why should you be ashamed? Something did not work. You shouldn't be ashamed. Acceptance. Seek help. Move away from negative-minded people. Go with positive people. Celebrate your little wins. You know, when you ask women, what good thing can you say about yourself? Many people will say, nothing, no. Especially those abroad. Since I came to this country, you think it's just buying a house, buying cars. That's the only success story. Do you know what it means inside this wind, inside this cold, to be able to dress your children up and take them to school? That's a success story. Not everybody can do that. Go to work, come back, take your children to GP, do this appointment, do that, being able to cook, being able to check them at night. Celebrate it. Celebrate those things you call little and you shift away. Celebrate them. That's what I told single mothers. Why are they laughing at you? There are homes where they have daddy and mommy. They are struggling financially. Then you are doing it all by yourself, playing the role of a father and mother. You should be celebrating yourself. That you came to this country. Yes, you might not have the best job that you're looking for, but celebrate where you are and start to think positively. You can achieve anything you want to achieve in this country, regardless of discrimination or whatever. You can achieve. It might be slow, but you can achieve. You can achieve. Thank you. You can achieve. The only reason people are held bound is because of their mindset. And why is that negative mindset there? Because of the people they move with. So I'm very intentional. I remember months ago, my daughter was like, Mommy, if they really say bring one friend now, best friend, do you really have a best friend? I said, my dear, when I had best friend, where did that take me to? Don't spend time talking about this, talking about that. Time is of the essence. Who are you moving with? The person who will always remind you of that trauma, of that adversity, of that thing you couldn't achieve. Is that the person you're moving with? And who told you if you had a friend for 10, 20 years, you can't break that relationship? You can't move away from that friend. And if it's a family member who are pulling you down, who are reminding you of the trauma, who are making you mask because you're so ashamed or afraid to speak, who told you you can't move away? You can. When I started my organization almost 14 years ago, and I heard negative stuff from our people, Africa, Nigeria, I moved away. I started making friends with Asian people. And even now, I think I have over 70% as friends that are Asian and Muslim. If you want to progress, you have to draw boundaries. There is no way you can go far if the people around you are very negative. Even after you unmask, if you remain with negative-minded people, you can't go far. And you know, whatever it is that you're masking might just be that blessing. Is what God wants to use to turn your situation around. Please stop masking. Stop masking. Be bold to take that step and say, you know what? From today, I will no longer be silenced by stigma. I will no longer be silenced by this thing that is so shameful. I will no longer be silenced because of what people will say to me. I will no longer. I'm going to take a bold step and I will unmask so that I can be rooted, so that I can gain access, so that I can be established. You know, most time when we are calling, you say, they make a honey of this land I will get. How? If you are masking, if God wants you to use your personal story to heal others, and you are masking it, how are you going to get breakthrough? How are you going to fly? Somebody was saying months ago, hey, you started this movement and gave Nigerians the boldness to start organization. Yes, before Wonderfully Made Woman, you will hardly see any organization from Nigerians. But that came as a result of what I was masking before. And one day, I took that bold step. I said, I will no longer be silenced by stigma of being a single mom. I'm going to break that shame. I'm going to break the trauma. And today you have how many Nigerians with organizations, even the African countries? Before, hardly will you see Africans wearing Ankara to events. Those were the things I started. All from one trauma, all from one challenge. That thing that would have killed me, that would have, that's even killed a lot of people. You know, some people, once their relationship breaks down, they can't do anything in their life anymore. It's what God has used to lift me up. And I don't take the glory. I'm just saying to encourage you. When I go to places, people do not have choice than to listen. Why? I'm speaking from lived experience. You are in a country where lived experience is key. And you're hiding your gold. Why? Look at great people. They had one issue or the other that they later used to transform their lives. Stop hiding. It's time to unmask so that you can be rooted. It's time to break the trauma shame. It's time to say, I will no longer be silenced by this stigma. I will no longer be silenced by this trauma. I will no longer be silenced by shame. I will no longer be silenced by that. So that you can excel. You'll be shocked. That thing you're hiding, so many people have done it. So many people. A lot of people are stuck in this UK with immigration because they were too ashamed to talk. They were too ashamed, but at the end of the day, they still talk anyway. They still talk anyway. So please, never hide. This conference, the theme of this conference is so unique. It's so unique. Unmask to be rooted. It means for you to excel, for you to be established, for you to gain access to greater things. It is your responsibility to do the needful. And what is that needful? To unmask. Whatever it is that you are masking, start thinking of how to unmask so that people can help you. If I did not unmask, I won't have gotten here. Maybe I would have been thrown to Nigeria by now. But today, I did not reach where I'm going. but I'm grateful for where I am. So please, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Keep looking at that light at the end. Never give up. If God can take me to where I am today, a woman who couldn't even talk, even in the midst of my siblings, they won't even hear my voice. My voice was silenced. I was so dull in growing up. So that also silenced my voice. I remember in June when I did my birthday, one thing my dad kept saying in the video he sent to me that was played was, Ehinor, the one who never used to talk is the one talking now. When he kept saying it, I looked at his body language. And up till now, he still tells me, I don't know how God did it for you, Ehinor. I don't even know myself. All I know is that I actually unmask. I unmask. I'm not ashamed to say I've been divorced. I'm not ashamed to say I've been abused. I'm not ashamed to say I have been a single mom. I'm not ashamed because that's my reality. Unfortunately, that's my reality. Unfortunately, that's my reality. Whichever way, whether you say it positive or negative, that's my reality. So when I'm going out to speak, I don't want to mask and make people feel I am where I am today because I'm married or because, I did one thing or the other. I like to share my journey so that people know that you can go from -10 to 100 or even more. You can. All you need to do is build that confidence to say, I don't care what people say. And even till now, when I'm having challenge, I don't mask. Even the women I support, at some point, I tell them, you know what, right now I am struggling. Can you talk to the staffs or trustees or volunteers? I'm not in the right frame of mind. I don't do Superman or Superwoman. I don't. Because that's another thing that kills people, especially leaders. You're dying, you don't want people to know that you are dying. You have problem, you don't want them to know you have problem. No. At every stage in your life, whether you now get up there, because we'll always have challenges, never mask whatever challenge you have. When my nephew died last year, I used to cry to our women, like women who were seeking help, like, no. I was expressing myself. I had to make them know that I was vulnerable as well. When I have financial hardship, I speak out. When we don't have funding, I speak out. When I need help, I go to our partner organization to say, you know what, I've been dealing with a lot of women. I need counseling myself. I need therapy, especially in COVID. I would just tell them, you know what, I think I need help right now. Because nobody is a superwoman or a superman. So even as a leader, you're listening, don't mask your problem. Just because you're helping people doesn't mean that you cannot be vulnerable. It doesn't mean you cannot let people know that you also need help. It doesn't mean. Some people are dying of exhaustion, especially faith leaders. Why? They know they're tired. But because they want to prove strong, like, how can I say I will not preach today? Why will I not? What is wrong is saying, you know what? You go and do the preaching. I want to rest. Like since I came from the US for my research, I have been working. It's like all the job has been waiting for me. Event here and there. And by Thursday, I was exhausted. I had to tell the team for radio show, Please, there is no way I will get up on Friday morning and come for radio show. I am worn out. I'm not doing superwoman. I'm not the only voice that God can use. No. And I told them, you can do better than me. Please go. Let's learn to unmask. Let's learn to break that stigma of shame. What are you ashamed of? What have you done that nobody has done before? What? Nothing. So, for you to, have said it, for you to progress, accept, seek help, work with positive minded people, and you'll be fine. Thank you so much for inviting me to this conference. I appreciate you all.
Thank
Unmuted. Before you
you.
speak, let me just say thank you so much, Ma. I celebrate you. I appreciate you. That's why I say she speaks from a very authentic way. These are the things you cannot find on Google. You cannot Google these things. These are real things. Thank you so much, Ma. God bless and honor you. I'm gonna step back now and let her finish.
Thank you so much, Ma. It was an honor hearing from you. Please let's do a recap. You said unmasked means to be revealed, to be rooted means to be established. You also said to take the bold step of unmasking is to overcome stigma for the greater good. To fulfill purpose irrespective of life circumstances, you need to take the bold step of overcoming stigma, ignoring naysayers or mockers. You also shared your personal story of how you unmask and you overcome shame and challenges. You shared how you overcome stigma associated with marital breakdown. Things worthy of note include the reason why people put on this mask. One, shame of reproach, fear of judgment, stigma, stereotypes, fear of losing position or title. You also shared the implications of masking. One, you talked about pain, inferiority, displacement, anger, and even death. So you also shared how do we overcome, and from your own personal experience, how you overcome this masking and how you became rooted. The first one was that you accepted your new place and you spoke up. The next one was that you sought help. It's good for us to seek help in every position or whatever we are having difficulty with. The third one, you were ready for a shift, that we should be ready for a shift. We should surround ourselves with the right people because the people that surround us matters how we survive the things we go through. The fourth one, you said we should celebrate our little wins, the things we take for granted, taking our kids to school, surviving the winter, things like that. We should know we should celebrate it. We shouldn't take anything for granted. We should be intentional. You also talked about setting boundaries. It's very good. When people are not encouraging you, we shouldn't be afraid to change our friend circles if they are not going the same way we are heading. Then you also talked about the benefit of unmasking. The first one was peace of mind. You talked about freedom. You talked about gaining access and also being established. So these are the benefits of unmasking. Finally, what I took away is that unmasking leads to better and fulfillment because our voice needs to be heard. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.